And back to our coverage of the Vice President's speech at the United Nations General Assembly. I'm joined by risk management expert, international affairs analyst Onyekachi Adekoya. Thank you for joining us on the news this hour. Nigeria is seeking a permanent seat at the UN Security Council. In plain terms, talk to us about why you think Nigeria thinks it deserves this.
Thank you for the question, Ifemi, and good evening to the viewers. The VP did lay out the reasons why he believes Nigeria is entitled or should be considered amongst other African countries like Egypt, Algeria, South Africa, perhaps Kenya, because, again, we've been involved in over 51 operations across the African continent. We've deployed, according to the VP, over 200 soldiers to different peacekeeping operations. Aside from the fact that we also have the largest population in Africa, I think those are the reasons that Nigeria is pushing for. But I have a slight opinion to this that differs from the position of the VP. While we're pursuing the P5 or P6 seats in Africa into the UN, we must remember that we are now in an anarchical world order, where even the great powers themselves cannot be moderated, not even by the P5. We are now approaching a world order where even the currency of the UN is being questioned. So while the optics is good for our giant of Africa, big brother position in Africa, I think perhaps the time has come for even the African continent to look beyond the UN in itself. Just the other day, then foreign President Trump went to the UNGA and just gave the UN a big stick for being what he called obsolete and out of touch. So while we play our politics in Africa, jostling for this position, which only gives us a talking head, a talking position, I think that there are bigger fishes to fry in the world today beyond the P6 position. So Nigeria is within its right to be in position for that seat, but I would think that what may favor Africa the most is to get the seat allotted to Africa and have a rotational arrangement among regional leaders in Africa so that the seat does not divide Africans, because now by this time next year, according to the UN will be moving its operational headquarters to Kenya. So Kenya also has every right to say, okay, for other reasons also, they also want to be in that seat.
Absolutely.
Whoever gets the seat is not what is important, but that Africa should get that seat.
The Kenyan president made a case for this as well, talking about 2 seats for the African continent, alongside several other world leaders who pointed out to the fact that there is the big need for UN to evolve before it becomes obsolete. But some say the Security Council is too rigid and that change is unlikely. How realistic Nigeria's demand is, we'll see in the coming days. But if Nigeria did get a permanent seat, what difference does it really make for the ordinary Nigerian?
It will change the price of Gary, definitely, or the price of fish in the markets. The hypothetical question, if Nigeria did get it, I'm not sure how we'll get it, because currently you have the West occupying 3/5, with China and Russia occupying the 2. So the question is the number 6 position, where would that person be aligned towards? You can't take the Arab African countries because of the Western Bloc and the considerations with Israel. South Africa is clearly out of it because of its position with Greece. Nigeria is now tilting towards the global south. So this is all a hypothesis. I'm not sure who will get it. Now, it won't affect what is on ground. What will affect the cost of living and quality of life of the average Nigerian is the African Continental Free Trade Area, which has the potential to add about $16 trillion to African GDP by the year 2040. I think that's a bigger thing we need to be looking at. How to build inter-trading platforms between African countries to unlock trade and the potential of Africa. I think that alongside the quest for the P6 position that Nigeria is in, I think the government is also focused on bilateral deals and arrangements in the energy sector. For example, Difemi, we have locked in our grounds over $86 trillion worth of gas. This is proven gas reserve, and how much is our global debt, as it were, that we're even crying for debt relief. So I think that if we begin to look onwards and pursue, first of all, an African Union integration, whereby we remove all the barriers, even in terms of trading. Nifemi, today you cannot transfer easily from Nigeria to South Africa without using another medium of exchange to exchange to South Africa. It doesn't make sense. We want to trade with Niger and Ghana here. We need a foreign currency. So we have bigger fishes to fry just within the African continent. Having almost 1.7 billion, that's an enormous market. So I think that's the bigger thing that will affect the average Nigerian, not the P6 position, if you ask me.
Onyekachi Adekoya, International Affairs Analyst, thank you for talking to us.
Thank you for having me.